You're losing thousands of dollars a day if you're not ranking at the top of page 1 on Amazon. Page 1 is where all the sales are made. Amazon customers are very impatient, so the chance of them purchasing something drops exponentially the further down that they scroll. You therefore have to make sure that your product shows up at the very top of page 1 so that you get those sales. If you're not on page 1, your listing is going to die unless you quickly implement these changes. By the end of this video, you will know how to consistently rank your product on page 1 without having to rely on spending thousands of dollars in PPC. So why is being at the top of page 1 so important on Amazon? Well, there are 4 key points here that I'll go over. So the first one is increased visibility. Being at the top of page 1 means that more people are going to see your listing. When someone searches for something on Amazon, your listing is going to be one of the first results that shows up at the very top of the page. Because of this increased visibility, you're going to have increased traffic as well. Just more people seeing your listing means that more people will click on it. Being at the top of page 1 also gives you a competitive advantage. So even if your listing has fewer reviews, higher price than your competitors, but they are further down on page 1 or on page 2, you're going to get those sales because Amazon customers hardly ever scroll past even the middle of page 1. Ultimately, more sales comes from being on the top of page 1, and it's due to all these things that I've just covered. So mainly your increased visibility and your increased traffic, just more people seeing your listing, more people having the opportunity to want to purchase your product. So how do we get to the top of page 1? Well, there are 6 different things that we need to do. The first one is going to be SEO optimization. So you have a keyword that you want to rank on page 1 for. So you must make sure that this keyword is actually in your listing. So organic SEO focused on a specific keyword phrase that you want to rank top of page 1 for. Once we've got that keyword in our listing, we need to set up PPC campaigns. So these campaigns are going to push spend into that specific keyword to show up as the #1 sponsored listing. So even if your organic ranking is down on page 2, your sponsored rank can show up at the top of page 1, as these are where the sponsored products show up for. You then need to optimize your main image for click-through rate. So this is going to maximize the traffic that you get out of your new impressions. Impressions are great and your traffic will still go up, but think of the exponential increase that you can get if you improve your CTR, the amount of people actually clicking on your listing. Then your listing images and A+ content come into play. So this is for converting them. So now that you have more traffic come into your listing, you need to convert more of them. Listing images and A+ content help you to convert lookers into buyers. So you need to convince someone why they should purchase your product over someone else's product. What are the key selling features of your product? Create that emotional connection with them. Lastly, coupons and deals can also add lots of extra purchase incentive to increase conversions and further boost your sales momentum. So this can help with your click-through rate and also your conversions. When someone sees that there's a good deal on a product, it makes them want to buy it. All of that is going to equal increased visibility and traffic and more sales. And as we're going to get into later, this is basically a algorithm hack where they keep working off each other. So we made it to the top of page 1, but now how do we stay there? So SEO, CTR, conversion rate, PPC optimization, and coupons are going to equal increased visibility and traffic, which is going to equal more sales, which in turn equals higher rank. And then all of this just works together. So like I said, it basically hacks the algorithm. The higher your rank, the more visibility and traffic you're going to have come into your listing, which means the more sales you're going to have, which means the higher your rank is going to be. It's a never-ending cycle. And then when you mix in extra SEO, click-through rate, conversion rate, PPC, and coupons into that as well, it's just going to exponentially increase the amount of sales and the ranking that you get on your product. So to stop relying so much on PPC, you need to rank organically on page 1. So throughout this entire process, you must make sure that you monitor your organic rank very closely. So this is a very, very touchy part of the whole process. So if your organic rank is between 1 and 5 on top of page 1, you can lower your PPC bids. So you stop bidding so much on those phrases in your PPC. You want to rely more on organic rank. So then if your organic rank decreases, you need to increase your bids back up again, because obviously your bids are too low. Your organic rank wasn't strong enough. There wasn't enough momentum there to keep that organic rank at the top of page 1. So increase your bids back up. Your product's once again going to start showing at the top of page 1 sponsored, which means more sales, your organic rank slowly improves. If your organic rank increases or stays the same, then you can consider lowering your bids even further. Maybe you can lower your bids by an extra 25 cents and you'll still make those sales. Once your product is ranking at the top of page one organically, the visibility that it gets, the traffic and the momentum, it just helps it to stay there. So some essential tools that you can use to get your product to page one. First one is going to be Helium 10. So two tools here. We've got Keyword Tracker and Cerebro. So what Keyword Tracker does is it allows you to upload a list of your keywords, and then you can track which keywords you're ranking in the top 10 for, the top 50, but then also the individual rank on each keyword. So if you have a specific keyword that you're trying to get to page one for, you can look at it in Keyword Tracker. You can see, okay, for this keyword, we were ranked at number 5. But then the next week, after pushing a lot of PPC spend into it, after adding coupons, etc., our organic rank has increased up to number 3. Now we've got it to number 1. We start lowering our PPC spend, and we see, okay, we drop back down to 6. So now we probably need to add more coupons. We need to push more PPC spend in to try get that rank up again. And then Cerebro allows us to check our rank on a keyword compared to competitors. So how are we performing compared to our competitors? So it allows us to check what our competitors are ranking highly for. So then we can find those keywords, we can put them into our own listing. Lastly, we've got Amazon Brand Analytics. So these are really great tools. So first of all, we've got the search catalog performance. This is going to be for your click-through rate and conversion rate. So you can search on a per ASIN basis. So you take your ASIN, plug it in, search it, then you can then see what your conversion rate is for that ASIN and what your click-through rate is. So you can decide from there if you need to optimize your main image, if you need to add a coupon, a deal, or if you need to optimize your other listing images or A+ content to further increase your conversions. Lastly, we have the search query performance. So this is going to be for impressions and click share. So how are you performing compared to your competitors? Very similar to Cerebro. So what is the impression share? How many impressions are we getting for a search term compared to our competitors? How many clicks are we getting on our listing compared to our competitors? And we can even break it down into how many sales we're getting from those searches compared to what our competitors are doing. Lastly, we want to look at the golden rules of getting your product to rank on page one. So if you let any of these slip through the cracks, you're really going to struggle to get on page one, or it's going to be absolutely impossible for you to do so. The big number one golden rule is do not go out of stock. As soon as you go out of stock, your listing is no longer purchasable. You can't get sales on it. Your rankings are going to drop. This is going to be with both sponsored rank and organic rank. You could have built up rank over many weeks, right up to rank number 5, but you go out of stock for just 2 weeks and you can drop down off of page 1. And then you have to start that whole process of getting back up to the top all over again. Do not skip out a single step. So you can't just do SEO optimization without doing the PPC. You can't do PPC without your CTR, main image optimization. Don't do that if you're going to miss out on conversion rates as well. You need to do all of them together, because all of them together makes your overall listing stronger and increases the chances of you actually succeeding and getting to the top of page 1. You always need to track your metrics. So these are going to be your click-through rate, your conversions, your impressions, and most importantly, what your keywords are actually ranking for. What is the individual rank for these keywords that you're pushing so hard to get to page 1 for? Always track those metrics. If you're not tracking them, you won't know if your optimizations have been successful, if your PPC is actually working to increase your organic rank. You'll be left completely in the dark. You always need to continue to improve your listings. So once you have got one keyword phrase to the top of page 1, then find another one that you want to get to the top of page 1. Take that, put it in your title, swap some keywords out, create new PPC campaigns, push more spend into that keyword phrase, and get to the top of page 1 for that. Once that's done, move on to the next one. It's a never-ending cycle, and those keyword phrases are always changing. So 6 months ago that could have been getting you 50% of your sales, now suddenly 6 months down the line, it's no longer getting as many monthly searches. You're not really selling that well on it anymore. Competitors have come in, they spend in far more in ads than you. You cannot get sales on it. So you have to find new keywords to work on. This whole strategy just keeps on repeating itself until you have hundreds of keywords ranking near the top of page 1. That is when you will really see an exponential increase in your sales on Amazon. The top placements on page 1 really are the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The difference between the sales on page 2 and page 1 can hardly even be compared, as 99% of all sales on Amazon happen on the top 8 placements on page 1. It takes a monumental effort and a lot of patience to get there, but once you get into those top placements, the rewards are well worth it. It is important to note that it takes a combined strategy across SEO, PPC, and graphic design to get there. You cannot just edit some keywords in your title and expect that to do the trick. You have to get your organic SEO in line, you have to set up your PPC campaigns correctly with the correct bidding strategies, targeting the correct keywords, but then you also have to optimize your graphic design perfectly with your click-through rate on your main images and your conversion rate in your listing image stack and your A+ content. But if you manage to put all of these together and get to the top of page 1, the rewards will be exponentially higher than anything else that you've ever experienced on Amazon. If you're interested in seeing how we can implement our exact SEO, PPC, and graphic design systems into your business completely done for you, go to the link in the description down below to schedule a free consultation call with myself. If you got value out of this video, check out some of my other videos on how you can optimize your main image for click-through rate. I'll walk through all the different strategies and tactics that you can use to increase your click-through rate and double your sales the easiest way possible.